that we hear voices aside my voice. So if you want to speak, you can just signify and you can unmute your name, where you're joining from, and what's the most recent scholarship that you've applied for. Do we have anybody? So you can use I think that the raising of the hand emoji to indicate. I like to hear voices, honestly. Oh, I'm going to just call somebody randomly because I feel like it's just my voice I've been hearing. I'll call somebody randomly. Okay, so Favor is raising up her hand. Hi, Favor, you can unmute now. Thank you.
Hello, Ura. Thank you for this section. Hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Very loud and clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Favor. I reside in Abuja here, and I have been, optimistic about this program. I have a lot of expectations. I applied for MasterCard Foundation Scholarship. I think that was just the most recent scholarship I applied for, although I wasn't considered. And that's the reason why I'm here to, to check the gaps, cross my T's and I's, and probably get prepared for this year's application. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you. And thank you for the team that put this together as well.
All right, thank you so much for speaking. And yes, I believe you're not even the only one for MasterCard Foundation. There's in the registration, I saw a series of MasterCard Foundation. So, and this has also been shared with our partners. So, best believe that we're going to address all of that. Hi, Omar, you have the floor, please. Hi, Omar, can you hear me? Your hands are raised.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I am Umar. I'm joining from Lagos State. The scholarship that I applied recently, so I applied for a scholarship at the University of Glasgow, and I actually got the admission and the scholarship, but it's a partial one, so it's not fully funded, which is why I'm still joining the webinar to learn more about how to source for funds from external organizations and all that.
Great. Congrats. I mean, we can still say congratulations, right? Well done. Incredible work you've done. Lucy is hearing all of this, so don't worry. We'll have you covered. So I'll just go to the chat room now to quickly pick a number of responses. So from Dolly's, hi Dolly's. Dolly's is joining from South Sudan. She has not applied for any scholarship recently. Great. This is an opportunity for you to gather the information, all the knowledge for you to now use for the subsequent scholarship you would be applying for. So welcome, thanks for joining. This is from Eve. The most recent scholarship I have applied for is for a fellowship. Yes, it was important that I indicate fellowship in the registration because I know that we have different people, right? It's not everybody that wants to go for a scholarship, right? I also know that fellowship applications are also opportunity areas that we're going for. So it was important that we include that. So thanks, Eve, for calling that out as well. Azizat from Nigeria. Sorry, I can't speak at the moment. That's fine. Hi, Lillian from Nigeria. The last scholarship I applied for most recently is the University of Oxford. For the Geotechnical Engineering Scholarship in UK. Interesting. These are interesting. Maybe I'm very excited about the fact that people want to get out of Nigeria, but that's another conversation. But these are interesting locations, schools, very aspirational, I would say. So having said all of that, do we have any other person's hand raised before we hand over? Do we have anybody that still wants to speak? Okay, so I'll take that as a no. And hi, Oyeka, thanks for joining from Nigeria. Applied and got rejected for Chevney and Erasmus scholarship. That's also noted. Okay. So having said all of that, it's time for me to mute and take my face away and allow Lucy, who is the facilitator, to come in. But before I formally bring her on, this is me saying thank you to our partner, ScholarWaka, for this three-week webinar. That's how I would say, because starting today, we're going to have another one next week, then the final leg, which will be the 21st of March. We're saying thank you for this support. We know that without this partnership, ideally, people pay for this service. So we're saying thank you for bringing this on and for reaching out to us to say we want to do this together. So having said all of that, this is me formally handing over to Lucy to kickstart the session. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, guys. Just in case my voice is looking as if I swallowed frog, I just had to eat before I get started. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Favor, your face looks very familiar. You look like someone that was in my teacher's training program years ago. Right, Favor? Your face
Of
looks very.
course, of course. I know you, Lucy.
Yeah, I remember
Hi, it's
Favor.
been a while.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Just checking
Yeah,
if
nice
I
to
look
meet you once
anywhere
again.
I
Uh,
awarded
I've been
scholarship.
following.
No one here. Yeah, nice to see you here again. This is an evidence that you really love what we do at WAAW Foundation and you are following us back to back, which is really good, which is really, really, really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm a
No,
fan of WOW Foundation.
yeah, nice to have you around. Okay, guys, let's get started. I will just quickly share my screen now. Present. So since I'm in present mode, I'm not sure if I won't be able to see the chat, but yeah, I'll try to frequently check to see if there's any message for me or any question. If not, I'll leave it as well till the end of the session. I will also try to ensure that in between I ask for questions so we don't like have so many questions at the end. So we can take the questions as we go. So we see how that progress. I am really excited about this session because one is WOW Foundation and two, it's you guys because we have so much love for you guys and we want to ensure that we provide you all the information you need that will support you to achieve your academic and career goals. And one of the ways that I thought that, okay, how do we impact our WOW Foundation folks who have supported us years ago? It's just for us to come and share with you guys how you can better position yourself to apply for scholarships. I have been in your shoes before. For 3 years, I was applying, which is 2017 to 2021. I was seriously applying for scholarships. In fact, the last year before I got my scholarship was, and I don't want to describe how the year looks like. It was a year where I had to put in my everything and all into applying for several scholarships until just when I had moved on. I was like, you know what, maybe this year is not for me again. That was when the email came in to say, Lucy, congratulations. I was even at the office the day that evening the email came. I was like, is this true? So finally, this worked. So just know that it's something that I know you all are praying for. Even we as WAAW Foundation as well, we're also praying for you guys to, to get that good news. So I'm hopeful and I pray that this session is going to be insightful and it's going to clear some of the clarification you seek as you apply for different scholarships. Can you go? Take. Open it for her. All right, then. So this is the scholarship application workshop between WOW Foundation and ScholarWaka. So I'll talk about ScholarWaka shortly so you get to understand what we do at ScholarWaka. Tej, can you go to your room? Go to your room. I'll do it in your room. Thank you. And shut the door for me. Tej, shut the door. Yeah, so meet Lucy. Many persons may have met me. Maybe like Favor had met me when I was still with WOW Foundation. So I think I will start my intro from the bottom to the top. So I had worked with WOW Foundation for like many years. I was WOW Foundation fellow or volunteer from 2013 to 2016. And 2017, I got my full-time job with WOW Foundation. and I worked with WAAW for like 4 years, and before I came to the UK. Although currently I serve on the WAAW Foundation board as one of the board members who supports our day-to-day operations, and part of what I'm also doing here as well, supporting the programs at WAAW Foundation. And in 2021 was when I got my WAAW Foundation, my Commonwealth Scholarship, and all thanks as well to WAAW Foundation for the nomination. And yeah, when I was working to WAAW Foundation, I have always wanted to practice in my long-term profession because I have a background in chemical engineering. But when I was in Nigeria, I was working with WAAW as a program manager, STEM trainer, everything still around STEM. But I was also very particular about me transitioning back to my career, which is something I'm also going to talk about as well in this call. Having a long-term plan as you're also applying for scholarships. So after studies, I got into the engineering field where I currently work in the energy sector. And because I just love to share knowledge, give back, I had to give birth to ScholarWaka. ScholarWaka is, sometimes I just say it's just 1 year old. Yeah, ScholarWaka is 1 year old, very, very new into the industry. But what we do at ScholarWaka is what I will also share with you guys in details soon. So that's a little bit about me and the many things I do. So now, sorry, is that a question? Okay, please, if you are not speaking or asking any question, could you just mute your mic? So about ScholarWaka, so we are a trusted and comprehensive platform where we connect everyone to global opportunities. So whether you are looking for internships, you are looking for fellowships, you are looking for scholarships, we got you covered at ScholarWaka. And all the info you need are also on our website as well. So what we do at ScholarWaka is that we provide you guys up-to-date, well-researched information that will enable you apply for these opportunities to help you achieve your academic and career goals. So like what Ura said earlier, it's not really about scholarships. Not everybody really want to get back to school, And also note that you must not, you don't need to move to a new country only through scholarships. Or the scholarships or educational route is one of the easiest way to migrate to a new country, but there are still other means of which you can also migrate. And that is where getting some experience like in internship, fellowships could also build your portfolio. For instance, in the UK, they have a program they call it Global Talent Visa. These are for professionals who are in the tech field, in the art field, in research, in different sectors. And for you to apply for this kind of visa, you must not have a job to come to the UK for you to apply for this visa. And you must also be someone that is really professional and highly experienced in your field. So that's why I said that it must not be through scholarships for you to migrate to any country. There are different means to migrate. So whether you're applying for scholarships, you're applying for internships, you're applying for fellowships, all of these supports you to achieve your goals. So just have that options as well as you plan to apply for opportunities that will advance your field of study. So that's about ScholarWaka. And our goal, our mission at ScholarWaka is very simple. Because this ScholarWaka is very, very personal to me. Very, very personal to me. So our major mission is for us to empower individuals, for them to have access to these opportunities that we share on our platform to help you achieve your goals. And we also have the vision to be among the leading global platforms where you all can find these scholarships, apply for scholarships, and also secure these opportunities as well. So we want to ensure, personally, I want to ensure that regardless of your financial background, you can achieve your goal. Personally, I wouldn't have been able to leave Nigeria if it was not through scholarships, because where would the money come from? The money is not there, right? But all thanks to scholarships that have made it possible for me to also leave the way the rich folks will also live as well. So that is why no matter your financial background, your status, whatever it is, you can still access scholarships and you can still move abroad and study your dream course at your dream country, even winning your dream scholarship as well. So that's what we stand for as ScholarWaka. And that's why we're also ensuring that we find means to also share this information with as many people we can share this information with, which is one of the reasons why we're partnering with WAAW Foundation. We want more people to see that there are opportunities. It's just for you to know when to apply for them and how to apply for them, and also position yourself in a very strategic way for you to be able to submit good applications as well. Now, we have different means on how we support individuals to apply for scholarship or who are seeking to apply for scholarship. One of it is our scholarship resources. We have all of them on our website, which we're also going to go through as well shortly. We have lots of information on our website, info about different scholarships we post every day. There's something new on our website every day. Every day we drop a new scholarship. We also ensure that we also drop scholarships, info about scholarship guides, because there's something about you applying for scholarships or seeing the scholarships. Another one is, how do you approach it? How do you apply for it? So we drop scholarship guides, how-to guides on how you can, also utilize these opportunities. So we also have our free scholarship toolkit for those who are very new into scholarship application journey. You're not sure where to start and how to start. We also have like a free ebook as well you can download from our website. I'm going to share the link with Ura later, so you can also share with you guys. Other than the resources that we share, we also took it very personal to also mentor those who really want that close guide. You are applying for scholarships. You just need someone to be there to journey it with you. That's why we have our scholarship mentorship program. We have the group mentorship program where it's just the way we have this class now, this group of persons and other persons, or we have it as one-to-one. If you want it to be just me and you, just let's focus on just us. We have that as well. Then we also have services where you're applying for scholarships, you want support to review your applications or even write a stronger application for you or stronger essays for you. We do that. But note that when you come to ask us or when you seek our services to write, so one thing I always tell people is that me writing your applications for you is almost impossible because I don't know you and I am not you. So what I tell people is, even if you need me, you need our services for us to help you write or enhance your application, you still need to pour out your head out. So what are you? What have you been up to? Tell your story, and then we will help you to refine it to better suit whatever you're applying for. So that's how we support you as well. And then we also have different products as well that we also have on our website, ready to use products that you can have a look at, and it supports you to know how best to approach your applications and how to have the right documents to submit or apply for different scholarships. So that's how we as ScholarWaka support everybody that we meet. However, like I said, informations are everywhere on our website, and also how you can utilize our different services, products, and also our resources as well. Okay, so please do have to follow us everywhere. Like I said, we are just 1 year old. We clocked 1 year in January, so we are still on our baby step. So we need your support. Follow us across all our social media pages, and if you are really serious about winning a scholarship, you should sleep on our website, because everything you need to help you get what you want, you're going to find it there. I also have a YouTube channel as well, which I launched about a year plus ago as well, and it's really growing. We're almost at 7,000 subscribers already. So I believe if it is not doing well, I don't think people will want to subscribe or want to join. So if you go there, you're going to see lots of scholarship to apply for. And whenever I make my videos, I also talk about how to submit the application. So it gives you like step-by-step guide on what to do and also how to do. So please do subscribe as well. I think before we end the call today, I'll tell you guys to just go and subscribe before we leave this meeting. So do well to subscribe as well. My full name is what you're going to find on YouTube. But across all social media pages, ScholarWaka have their own page, and I have my own as well. And we drop scholarship information every day across all our platforms. Okay, now let's get back to business while we are here today. So it's going to be a 3 days workshop, which we are doing for the next 3 weekends. Today, we're going to look into scholarships, understanding scholarships, and finding the right opportunities. So just to say that the approach to this scholarship, the approach to how I'm taking these classes is I'm doing it as if it is beginner based. So for those who have applied for several scholarships before, pardon me if I am taking the process as if I'm teaching a 1-year-old, because that is the approach for how best to learn how to apply for scholarships. It is not too little for you to know the beginning of applying for scholarships. So I'm going to take it really from the very foundation. So we're going to understand what type of scholarships and how it works, what makes scholarships sound out, how you can plan for your scholarships. Then next week, we're going to dive into scholarship document. In fact, this is a very crucial part of applying for scholarships. For those who have said, "Oh, I applied, I was rejected." In fact, one of the important, or one of the major reasons why scholarship applications are rejected is just because of a document. Because you may be, to you, you are most qualified or you are qualified, but the question is, why are they not seeing you? So it may be because of how you have put documents together, or how you have, submitted your documents. It may be that may be the reason. But this is one of the things we're going to talk about as well next week. And then on the last day, we'll talk about how you can also use your current how you can build your portfolio to also support you to apply for scholarships. Whether you're doing volunteering, you're into leadership, whatever you do, they also add to your application. So we're going to go into that. And as well, for those who are currently applying for any scholarship, I can take 1 or 2 persons' applications for review, and I share with everyone as well what I thought about the person's applications, and then how best to improve the application. So that's what we'll be doing for the next couple of weeks. Okay. And now we are just about to get started. Any question before we run? No, teacher, I'm seeing my class. No questions. Okay. I assume the silence is no questions. All right. So let's get into understanding scholarships and the different type of scholarships. Now, what are scholarships? I remember I was on TikTok Live the other day, and someone was asking me, a lady just came to the call, was like, "Madam, how will you say somebody will just give me free money to go to a country and I will not pay for it?" And I'm like, "Okay, madam, it is true. Somebody can give you money. They will pay all your expenses to go abroad to study." The lady was arguing with me on the call. He said it's not possible. Is the person my father? Is it I said the person must not be from your village before they will give you scholarship. They must not know you. The lady did not even believe until she left the live call. So, which is good. So some people still do not believe that scholarship exists. But yes, I am a testimony of scholarship do exist, and even I have lots of mentees who have also won different scholarships as well. So yeah, so scholarships are financial aids that are given to students, and these aids can come from organizations, governments of different countries, institutions. They have the money and they're looking for who they want to give the money to. So the question is, am I ready or available to get this funding or this support that they're ready to give to me? Secondly, you are not paying back when you get the scholarship. And scholarship are in different means. They are given to you based on either your academic merit, your talent, or your financial need. So this comes to what I talk about different type of scholarships. So it is also important for you to also understand the type of scholarships you are applying for, right? So once you understand the type of scholarship you're applying for, it also helps you to know what to write when you are applying for the scholarship. So I'll explain that shortly as well. So what are the different type of scholarships? There are fully funded scholarships, there are partially funded scholarship, and there are tuition only scholarship. In fact, I usually say this, that there are three category of persons looking for scholarship. So category one is those who are looking for fully funded scholarship. This was my category when I was looking for scholarship. As I don't have shishi. Please, I don't even have flight tickets from Nigeria to wherever you're taking me to. Give me everything, let me go. So that was my category then. So this is the category for those looking for fully funded scholarships. They are usually very competitive, which is the likes of, I applied for MasterCard, I applied for Chevney, I applied for Commonwealth. These are fully funded scholarships that are really, really competitive. You see, when application opens for Commonwealth, there's noise everywhere. Anywhere you go is Commonwealth scholarship. And nobody talks about the other ones that are also out there, right? So it's because of the benefit, covers everything you need to apply or win a scholarship. I usually just going abroad to study for free. I remember when I was leaving Nigeria to the UK, I'm not even sure I had up to $100 in my pocket as I was traveling, because I knew that as soon as I was landing, I was expecting to get my stipend. So there was just no need for me to key myself about, oh, I need pocket money, I need this. It is all fully funded, and that's it, right? So that's for fully funded scholarship. The next one is partially funded scholarship. This is also very good. So it does not cover everything. Some will come with just tuition fee, they'll give you stipend, and maybe cover your accommodation, but they may not cover your visa cost, they may not cover your travel cost. So it's usually not complete for partially funded scholarship, but it's still very good, right? Then the other one you see is tuition fee only. There are some of them that you also find on ScholarWaka website as well. Like for instance, there's one at University of Nottingham. It's a very good scholarship as well. It's open to all field of study. Whatever course you find at that university, you can apply for their scholarship, even masters in research. For those who are looking to move with their family to the UK, you can apply for that kind of scholarship, but they only cover your full tuition fee. Meaning that if you want to apply for visa, you have to pay for your visa fee. You have to show proof of funds that you can take care of yourself when you come to the UK. So that's the downside of tuition only scholarship. But there are people who are happy to go for this because they are able to cover their other expenses. So these are the type of scholarships you're going to find. There are also some people as well I know that they are open to applying for scholarships, but they are also considering, oh, I have some money, I don't mind um applying to schools that are very affordable. For instance, there are some schools in Europe, like in Italy, you can see schools that are as cheap as 200 euros, 300 euros. Even in France as well, tuition fee in France for their public schools, they're as cheap as less than 300 euros. And then in Austria, some schools are as cheap as 700 euros per semester. So persons also have a chance to say, okay, if I cannot afford countries like UK, Canada, I can go to these cheap countries and use them as a transition to, the other countries. So people also go for that options as well. But that is not here. This is just only about scholarship. So you just know that you have options as well if you think you have funding to cover some of those affordable schools. Now, the different type of scholarships I talked about earlier, like in the first slide, I talk about understanding the type of scholarships you are applying for. This is very, very, very crucial. It is very crucial for you to understand what type of scholarship you are applying for. Now, first scholarship I have here is academic or merit-based scholarship. So for these particular scholarships, you are assessed based on your academic excellence, leadership, potential of giving back to your community on volunteering, and also professional impact. I would say that almost all scholarships you're going to find out there, they look at for your leadership and your impact. For those who have applied for scholarship, you can testify to that. That even if you're applying for a need-based scholarship or a government whatever scholarship, they still kind of want to know how are you giving back to your community, or what are you involved in? So these are two key things that you will find when applying for those scholarships. Even academic merit as well is also very important in scholarships. But just to know that there are different types of scholarships. So scholarships as well are specific based. It's either it is just for those in the area of STEM, or those in public health, or those in business, or some are open to like all field of study. So it's good for you to understand which, when I see a scholarship, does this align to my field, or can I apply for this scholarship? There are some as well that is need-based scholarship. The likes of Mastercard Foundation scholarship, they are usually need-based scholarship. If you look at it, first of all, they target Africans, those from African developing country, Commonwealth as well. It's also kind of need-based as well, regional based as well. So they look at for those who are facing financial hardship. There are some scholarship as well. There's a particular one in the UK that you will find across almost all universities. It's called humanitarian scholarship. And that scholarship is usually targeted at those who are based in any region in whatever community or country you are from, that is faced with conflict, with crisis, with socio-economic issues. So if you are faced with any problem at all in your country or in your community, you can apply for that kind of scholarship. So in their own case, it's a humanitarian scholarship that is focusing on those who their life are in at risk for one reason or the other. So if you are able to justify why you are applying for the scholarship based on your circumstance, then you can apply for that scholarship. And it's usually fully funded scholarship. I think I will even just it was not yet the time for me to go to ScholarWaka website, but I will just quickly find it. Okay, this is one of them. They usually have lots of universities that offer this type of scholarship. It's called the humanitarian scholarship, and many universities in the UK offer this type of scholarship. So let me see if I'm going to find more. Okay, so I'll just use this one as an example. So I just want to show you what I mean by when you're applying for scholarship and you check to see what their need is. So you can see that they said this enables students at serious risks or displaced to conflict. Right? So this is one of them. And you will find this kind of scholarship at many universities in the UK. The University of Manchester have this scholarship. The University of, I can't remember the top of my head, but lots of universities in the UK have this kind of scholarship. And you can see their funding is fully funded. It covers your full tuition fee, maintenance, visa cost, travel cost. So when you see a scholarship, the first thing is for you to check is, am I eligible to apply? Or can I write enough to be able to show that I can apply for this scholarship? But anyways, we're going to come into that in details as we go on. So I just want to mention to you what I mean by different specification or different need when you are looking for scholarship or when you're applying for scholarship. And another one I have on my list is a university or government-based scholarship. This is the one that everybody really are looking into. Most people look at for university-based scholarships, or no, government-based scholarship, which are like the Commonwealth scholarship, Erasmus scholarship, Chevening scholarship. They're usually fully funded and they are also highly competitive. However, you can still be among the very few persons that will get it. The main thing is, how are you positioning yourself to be able to secure those kind of scholarships? Like the WAAW Foundation scholarship, I would tag it as a field-based specific scholarship because they are more for those who are from STEM, studying STEM related programs, and also need-based as well. So WAAW Foundation scholarship is more like 1, 2, and 3. They fall under category 1, 2, and 3 because they are both academic merit, need-based, and also STEM related. So it's good for you to understand what type of scholarship do I want to apply for and what funding am I looking for. If you know that you cannot afford, if you know that if you get only full tuition fee, you cannot afford to pay the other ones, is there need for me to apply for the scholarship? I would say yes, I would say no. Yes is because still apply, even if you think that you will not be able to cover the cost. But it's a yes because it's also an experience that okay, I have applied for this scholarship and I have won the scholarship, and now it shows that you are doing something right, that you have gotten the scholarship. So it's also worth applying for it and winning it. So somebody will ask me, if I win a tuition based or partial scholarship, how do I cover the expenses? That is something that many people do struggle with. During my time, I know I also won a scholarship, a partial scholarship in, is it Thailand or one of these Asian countries? But I didn't take the scholarship one because I would not be able to afford it. I don't have the money to afford it. At the point, my friends were, oh, go and do GoFundMe, try to seek for fund. But who do I want to go and ask for 2 million, 3 million for me to be able to cover my expenses? It was almost impossible. And I was like, you know what? There was just no need. At that point as well, I was checking those schools. For the few schools I got the partial scholarship, I had to check their website to see if they have other funding I can apply for. Because some schools, like I said here, you'll see some schools have university scholarships. So I call them hidden scholarships. Until you go to the school website to check, you will not know that these scholarships still exist. So I'll also do an example of that as well when I share my screen. Let me try to take note of that so I don't forget. But just in case I missed that, somebody should please remind me how to check school website for more funding. So I will just take note of that. Okay. Yeah. Any question before I move to the next, talking about scholarship strategies and understanding scholarship requirements? Okay. So I'll just move forward. So this part of the sessions is just for information purpose and also for you to really understand the foundation. Because once you understand this really well and you get it right, it also have a way of impacting you when you are writing or preparing to write your essays and your applications, which is the most crucial part of your application. For instance, if a scholarship is a scholarship that is focused on leadership and community development, and then they pick your CV and they're not saying anything about you doing impact in your community, they're not saying anything about you volunteering, it's already a no. So once you understand what they are looking for, you will ensure that that thing they need is crying and shouting in your documents, whether in your CV, whether in your recommendation letters, whether in your personal statement. They should be shouting that these things that they need, you are full package of that thing. You have everything needed. Okay. So now this is another very important part, which is how do you plan when you are beginning your application? So what do you do and how do you do it? So this is something people usually do overlook. But personally, during my time when I was applying for scholarships, I was very particular about what I wanted and why I wanted it. I remember the end of year, I got my scholarship 2021, right? So end of year 2020, then I was still working with WAAW Foundation. We had our end of year meeting with Dr. Unoma, our CEO, and one of the questions she asked me was, Lucy, what is your biggest dream for the new year? And I thought that okay, I really wish to win a scholarship, and I have interest in this career, like this profession. And she was like, why? So I've always wanted to work in the energy industry. For those who knew me, maybe people might also remember that during teachers training, I was championing renewable energy, solar energy kind of curriculums. Those were my babies, right? So I really had interest in energy related field. So when I was looking for scholarships, those were my major targets because I've seen how interesting that sector is, and also looking at the future of green energy. I'm like, oh, this field look really interesting. And then I have a background in chemical engineering. Now, how do I align my long-term goal to my current to the current job I do, and also to the course I want to study? So I was telling her, oh, I had interest. I want to go for, and she was like, oh, that's a very fantastic career choice. And she, just advised me to, what to do and how to do it better. So this brings us to setting your goals. So what are your goals as you're applying for scholarship? So when I say goals, it sounds very vague, but you can break this down into number one, what do you want to study? It is good to have an idea of what you want to study, and also have alternative of what you want to study. For me, I had interest to go to study health, not health, energy related programs. However, I still have, okay, if a scholarship does not have this program, what else can I do that I know that my profile can also talk about really well when I'm writing or submitting my application? So what do you want to study? What are your preferred countries? What's your preferred course? What's your preferred schools? So if you're studying, if you're focusing on countries in Europe, which country in Europe are you focusing on? Are you everywhere, or you have a specific one? Personally, I would advise that you can have top 4, 5, 6 different countries, where you are also open to other countries. So when you are specific to the countries you want to focus on, it also helps you to be able to achieve your goals of applying to scholarships in those fields of study or in those countries that you have interest in. And very importantly, job opportunities and career advancement in those areas. I'm a testimony of this part of this planning, because I knew that I wanted to go into energy related programs, and I applied for scholarships in those fields. As soon as I landed the UK, the first thing I went to look for is, who can I volunteer with in this city I am now, that are also in this field of energy? Because I knew that for me to get a job in the UK, they will ask me for, oh, what is your UK based experience? Okay, what have you done before? So quickly, I had to look at for where I can develop my interest or my career plans or my long-term career goals in those areas, while I was also looking for jobs that are also in that field of study. So it's good to also check to see that, okay, this course I'm going for, what are the potentials for me to get a job after school? Because note that where the country you are going to is not your homeland, it's not your father's country, it's not your father's land. Like in Nigeria, or wherever country you are from, you don't need a visa for you to stay back in your country. But if you move to another country, you need a visa to stay back. And moving to a country through study visa is just a temporary visa. After school, there's life after school, which is you need to get a job that will give you a work visa to stay back. This applies to all countries. So far, you are not from that country, you need to stay back through a legal means, and which is through a work visa. Now, how do you get a work visa if you do not have a clear career plan as you're applying for scholarships? So I just thought to mention that, so you know that life after school is also very important for you to also add to your plans as you're applying for scholarships. Then another part is, be prepared though, because this journey it takes a lot from you, mentally, sometimes even financially. I remember my time I was applying for scholarships, and I was paying application fee, writing different exams at different schools. It will take a lot from you, mentally, physically, financially. So just be prepared for the journey, and also just believe that if they're only going to take 1, 2, or 3 persons, I can be among those few numbers they are going to select. I can be among those few numbers. So just have that kind of positive mindset, and also be open-minded. Open-minded, I mean that, for examples, I'll give example to 2 category of profession: teachers and nurses. Those 2 professions, right? I've met lots of them, and they're usually not open to having alternatives when they want to apply for programs. For instance, those who have interest in nursing programs, oh, I love nursing, I want to be a nurse. They don't want to look at any other health related field. Or even teachers, they don't want to look at other scholarships that may consider them in the field of whatever they have studied or whatever they have been teaching on. So it's good to always have options, alternative to what you want to apply for. And also, just to give you an idea of, oh, my phone is off and the little ones have taken my phone. So I'm not keeping track of time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My laptop is here. I use my laptop. So just note that you should have that alternative as well, that option as you apply for or prepare to apply for different scholarships. It just helps you to be well prepared. So you are not in shock. After school, oh, well, what do I do? How do I do it? All of those things. You're not surprised about that. The next is scholarship strategy and planning. Just like I've said in the previous slide, this is also very, very, very important because once you plan well, you'll be able to apply for many scholarships and you'll be able to submit good application. Now, how do you plan? Now, a few persons have applied for some scholarships and they were rejected. Now, how are you planning towards the next application cycle? Because from June, July, even currently, already now, like scholarship in Australia are currently open for 2027 intake. So some colleges are already open application already for next year intake. Are you prepared? Are you starting already? If you haven't started already, when do you plan to start? And if you want to start, what are you starting with? So planning to apply for scholarship early is very important. One of the products we have as well as ScholarWaka, we have a product called Scholarship Database, where we have put together a list of over 200 scholarships from across the world. The goal is if you have the database with you, you can on your own go through all these scholarships and find the one that looks like what aligns to what you can apply for, which means, okay, let me check if they have the course I have interest in, if the funding covers what I want to apply for. Just tick your boxes if they meet your personal criteria. If they do meet your criteria, the next thing will now be, when will this scholarship open? Is it December this year? Is it February 2027? If it is yes, number 3 question for you will be, how do I start preparing for that scholarship? For instance, let me just give an example with Commonwealth, which is very popular. Common scholarship will usually open between September and October, and will only be open for 1 month and then it will close. And just to apply for Commonwealth scholarship, they have over 12 essays you need to write. 12 essays you need to write. If you applied last year and you were rejected, how far? Have you started preparations for this coming intake already? How is your essay? You need to start drafting your essay. Look for who will help you review your essay to be sure that it is good. You don't want anybody to review it for you. Go on the internet and search for people's videos. I have a video on my internet that talk about how to answer your questions. So you begin to already plan towards that. Another thing people also do is, which is also part of early planning, is, for instance, if you're applying for Commonwealth scholarship, you need a nomination from a nominating agency or nominating NGOs or nominating body. WAAW is one of them. For those who do not know, they will not find who will nominate them for scholarship when it is 2 days to the deadline. So it doesn't help you in any way if you do not know what you want to apply for in the future and begin to start preparing for it. So my advice is, get a list of different scholarships that you have interest in from across the world and begin to look at them one at a time. What are the documents? What are the essays like? Who have won this scholarship before? Is there anybody on YouTube? I know someone that I'm currently mentoring, and she's applying for one of these UK scholarships. These guys have gone far and wide, from YouTube to going to LinkedIn to find who have won the scholarship, asking them for advice, asking them for, oh, can you help me review my applications? So these are early preparation, strategies. You can see the way I'm talking about this and I'm shouting it is because it is very, very, very important. Early start helps you a lot. After you have, so you can also get our scholarship database where you can see over 200 scholarships and there you can find different scholarships you can apply for, right? So the next one is prepare your document. No matter how well you prepare, if you do not have the right document, you are still wasting your time. So, but I'm not going to go so much into documents now because we have a whole full day to discuss documents, right? So just know that once you now know what you want to apply for, you should have your documents in place. Different scholarships have different document requirements and how they want documents to look like. So it's good for you to also know so you can be well informed and prepared. There's a scholarship, there's a document, there's a client I'm currently applying to for schools in France. And guess what the school said? The school says you should handwrite your motivation letter, well dated and hand signed. That's what the school wants. For other schools and countries, they will just say submit submit motivation letter, but their own, they want it to be handwritten and hand signed and dated. So if you don't pay attention to this kind of details and scholarship says this is what you need to do, and you submit what you have in your head or what you think it is correct, you already missed the opportunity already because you did not follow the instructions. So it's good to understand this on time and prepare documents the way they want you to prepare it. And another important thing I also advise as well is create your own personal tracker, which is your personal application timeline, right? We also have this on our ScholarWaka product as well. We have it on our product list. You can download our scholarship tracker as well. So this is a sheet where you can, so now you have gone to do your early work, you know what you want to apply for. You put them on your tracker according to their priority. For instance, if you are already planning towards 2027 applications, scholarships in Australia are currently open. And many of them are open till like, I think, April, May, June. You can have that at the top of your list. And then if you have interest to apply for Chevening, for Commonwealth, they'll be open later in the year. So you add a list of different scholarships you have interest to apply for in the next couple of weeks, next couple of years, in the next couple of months. And then you track your progress using the application tracker. Personally, it has helped me a lot, not just because for scholarship, even for your own personal career development as well. You have a goal, you have a tracker that helps you to know how far you are going. Also bring that idea as well into applying for scholarships. It also helps a lot. So I also advise you to get our scholarship tracker. And lastly, please stay consistent. Not when you get a love letter to say, unfortunately, and then the next thing you're like, I'm not applying again. It means you are not ready for the journey. So you have to always stay consistent and be very organized. Consistency is what will make you see results. So the more you apply, the more you are gaining experience, the more you are getting better with your applications, and the more you're even gaining more confidence to approach your application. So always note that these are the 4 major strategies or steps that I strongly advise that you approach as you apply for different scholarships. Any question for me in the chat? Anybody wants to ask any question? I am here. Please do ask your questions. Okay, no question. That's fine. But I hope everyone is hearing me though. I can't see any
Yes, we
reaction.
can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yeah. Okay, we have a hand raised from Favor.
Okay, yeah, please ask.
Hi, Favor. You can speak, please.
All right, thank you so much.
Favor, your voice is very faint. If you can hear me clearly, your voice is very faint.
Okay, let me just. Can you hear me?
Yes, very loud and clear. Thanks.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think it was connected. So thank you so much, Lucy and the team. This is an amazing section. Just like I said initially that I've always been following up with WAAW Foundation and their programs, and now we have Lucy with her a year-old ScholarWaka. Of course, I've
Mm,
already gone through the website, and I think this is something that I want to follow. But I have questions, like just like I said, for 2 years now, I've been
mm,
applying for Mastercard scholarship. Just like I've said, I followed YouTube's, ask questions, download materials, go through a lot. And the funny part of most of this scholarship is that by the time they will reject you, there is no, I don't know, there is no direct information as to where it went wrong. They'll just
mm-hmm,
say that, okay, we had too many applicants and then we just felt that we could select out of there. They will even encourage you to, to look out for other options. But
mm-hmm,
I want to ask, one thing I looked at in Australia scholarship is the fact that when there is study gap, it's usually an advantage. And I want you to say something about that. For
mm-hmm,
instance, I I graduated 2016, and I think like for my own course of study, I have like very large gap, 10 years. And I
mm-hmm,
think that could have been a disadvantage because I was talking to someone, a study guide in US, and the person was like, wow, what were you doing since you wanted to study master's degree and you are giving this kind of gap? Although I told the person that I pursued a postgraduate degree in another course of study, not in what I studied in my undergraduate. So I decided
yeah,
to just, study. But the person was like, no, that it could affect except there are work experience. And I know Australia have that issue of study gap. You have to explain and explain. And if there is no, I don't know how to put it. If there is no tangible something you could come up with, Australia has age limits and study gap issues. So
mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me more. How can I close that gap? Because I noticed maybe that could even be one of the reasons why my application is not scaling through. So I just need you to help me clear that. I need clarity on that. Thank you.
Okay, yes. So study gap, I think is normal because we're not going to go to school all the days of our life, right? Yeah, so study gap is normal. So the most important question is after your last degree, what have you been doing? So that's for me, that's the most realistic question. What have you been doing outside since your last degree? Obviously, for you, you've not just been sitting home and not doing anything. You've been building professional experience and also in line with whatever you want to study or whatever you are proposing to study. So those areas can also be part of what you can justify to why you have not gone back to school. So it's for me, it's understandable. Like I said, different scholarships or different countries have their own specific requirements, which you cannot bend, you cannot change. However, if you feel like, oh, these countries, their process is very complex, they are not really flexible, then maybe that's not for you. Like now, there's some countries that they'll say if you're applying for masters, you must not be more than 25, I'll be 30 years old. In that case, once it's just scholarship, you don't want to stress yourself about, oh, they're not going to accept me, or oh, I cannot apply. You just move on to the next. And that's also the reason why I always talk about having alternatives. I've heard it about MasterCard like for 3 times now, but I haven't heard it talk about maybe other type of scholarships that you are applying for. So do you also apply for other scholarships or you're only focusing on MasterCard Foundation scholarships?
Yes, I applied for Commonwealth. I think I applied for Commonwealth once, and that
Okay.
was just it. Okay. But Mastercard is like twice. Although
Okay.
I applied to two universities, so 2 years, but different university. That's for Mastercard, and
Okay.
then that's basically, and then WIPO. So that's I'm just looking at it. What's really going on? I don't know if it's the study gap, but I have lots of professional experiences, so I really don't know.
Yeah, so for me, personal experience is it already equates why you have not been in school. You have been busy with impacts, sharing your knowledge, whatever you studied in the past. So what I will also tell you is the rate at which you're going through your application strategy or approach is not the right approach. You need to apply for many scholarships and not just a particular one. Trust me, there are a lot of them out there. A lot of them out there that are that you can apply for. And one thing about scholarship is that the more you apply for scholarship, no matter how little it is, the more you gain or have the experience on, okay, this is how best I should approach it. If you apply for one scholarship in a year, you never start to, that's just like the beginning. Because if you apply for, just like you're driving, you know how to drive and you stop driving for like many years, when you want to jump on the steering again, it might feel a little bit light in your hand before like you gain confidence. So that's also how it is when you apply for scholarship. So I would say study gap is not a problem, except it is a particular criteria for that country. If that's a criteria for them, then that scholarship is not for you to apply for. However, I wouldn't say don't apply for it because you are not in school because you have been building good experience that aligns to the program you are applying for. So you can justify why you have not been in school. You have been working, which is very important, right? But another thing is apply for several scholarships. And now you know that the likes of Commonwealth, Chevening, and Mastercard, they are very, very, very competitive. They are just the way you feel like, oh, I have years of experience, I have all the things they need. That's how other people who are very strong as well also have that experience as well. And they are also prepping themselves to apply. They are constantly applying for different scholarship and then getting different experience. So you must also try to come up there so you can also compete with those highly qualified applicants and be at that same level with them. So the first thing is your study gap is not a problem as far as you have been working, you have professional experience. Two, you have to apply for more scholarships to also get hands-on experience and guide. And three, it's good to also go back to your application to see, okay, how am I writing my applications? What are my approaches applying the applications? Am I even ensure do you think that whatever they are requesting for or they need from you, you are really, really hammering those things in your applications? So those are the things I would say you should check and look at, and then yeah, before you even begin to start thinking of applying for new scholarships or further scholarships. I hope that's helpful, Favor.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. And I also, when you told me applying for 2, 3, that means I'm not ready. I just smiled
You are not
because
starting.
it's quite hectic applying for so many. And then in situation whereby most times for me to get recommendation from my school, because I have graduated for a long time, most of the lecturers I know, some are no longer there. So
Yeah,
I find it very difficult getting recommendation. In fact, before I'll get recommendation, I must pay for it. And most times they'll just recommend anything, especially if the application goes directly to their inbox. Okay, especially if they are not to submit to me. So they will just recommend anything. Even when I send documents to them, I just realize at the end of the day, what they recommend is not good enough. So all of
yeah,
these things get me tired and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Well, thank you for the encouragement. I
yeah.
will
I
try.
think
If we can
yeah,
just
yeah. That's also a very key thing. What are we hammer on next week? Recommendation letter is also very key because one thing is for you to say this is what I am, who I am, and next thing is for whoever you are choosing as your referee to also support your applications with giving you a good recommendation. So yeah, it's sadly it's one of the major problem we face when we apply for scholarship. But then we have to find a common ground to ensure that we have the right people that will give us recommendation on our behalf. It is very crucial for them. Let's give that instance of recommendation is very, very, very key. So, but we'll talk about that extensively when we get there. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a summary of what I have been talking about preparations and then the scholarship roadmap. The first thing is, of course, you have to plan and research for scholarships. That is the very first thing, like I said earlier. Second one, prepare your document, which is also very important, submit your applications, and then you wait for the next step. Now, this is another area where I feel like we also need to understand and ensure it's at the back of your finger before you begin any application. Number one, what is this scholarship needing? What is their requirements? And do I have them? So, firstly, just try to break them down. Break down the scholarship requirements for any scholarship you want to apply for. Break it down. So, how do you break it down? When you see a scholarship application, you go through the application, read it word to word. What do they need me to provide when I am applying for the scholarship? So some will say it's a need-based scholarship. Some will say you must have leadership and whatever potential. So ensure that you have those keywords written down, and so that when you want to start putting together your document, you are sure that you are highlighting those keywords also in your applications. Secondly, GPA, which is academic grade, is also very important. For some of them, they'll mention, oh, you must have this certain GPA or not, have good academic background. For likes of Chevney, they will say you must have 2 years of experience before you can apply for their scholarship. So you already know that this is what they are looking for. So ensure you meet this requirement. Now, the third one is program fit and eligibility. You can apply for any scholarship and all scholarships. It's not possible. You can't be eligible to apply for all scholarship. It's not possible. Do they have the program you are applying for? If they do not have the particular program you have interest in, do they have other programs you can apply for that you think can fit into your previous study or your work experience? Because when applying for scholarship, you're generally going to write an essay about you. And in the essay, you want to demonstrate to the scholarship committee that you meet the requirement of what they need and you can provide this information through your writing. So always double check to see that you have those requirements when you are, looking for those or applying or choosing those particular programs. And lastly, ensure that you read the scholarship page thoroughly. Like, digest it, read it thoroughly before you even begin to write. So once you see the scholarship application requirements, break them down into pieces and then ensure that you align your experience to each of the requirements that they're looking for before you even jump into um, writing. So I'm going to do an analysis, like a real example of how you look at a scholarship application and what they are looking for. So how do you check? How do you find that I'm eligible? And then, because most people just believe that, oh, it's Commonwealth, I'm eligible. No, that's not it. Before you choose a Commonwealth has 6 development teams. Before you choose a development team, why are you choosing that development team? Can you write development plan in that teams you're choosing? Also consider the school as well, because school needs to give you admission before scholarship will give you admission, before scholarship will give you an offer. The school you are applying to, have you checked what the school is requiring from you? Have you checked what the course requires from you before you can apply to this course, the school, for an admission? So it's part of what you need to really understand and check really well before you apply. This is also very crucial, because once you miss the requirement, you can't provide the right document. And once you can provide the right document, you can't even submit a good application. Okay, so it's very important to also understand that as well. Now, where and how do you search for scholarships? I've thought about before, okay, you can go through our database where there's already list of different scholarships for you to apply for. So once you go there, just find as many as you think aligns to what you're looking for and use that. Other than you going through, oh, there's already a list of scholarships, you can also follow social media pages of people talking about scholarships. Like ScholarWaka, for instance, we have a website where we share different type of scholarships. Every day there's something new for you to check out for new scholarships. So what is your search strategies? Different ways you can search for scholarship. Either you have the specific pages you follow to get scholarship updates. This can be either on YouTube, it can be either through the scholarship website, it can be either through social media, following persons that talk about scholarships on social media. For me personally, I post on my social media pages every day, and I can share up to 3 different scholarships on my social media pages every day. On a very good active day for me, I post several scholarships there. So imagine following this kind of programs or pages, you're going to see lots of scholarships to apply for, and you're going to find the ones that aligns to what you're looking for. Now, when you see a scholarship, how do you filter down to see if you are able to apply for these scholarships? Two, how do you also verify the scholarship you see online, which I'm also going to show to you shortly? Because when we, ScholarWaka, for instance, now we are a third party scholarship platform. We are not the one that own the scholarship. We're always sharing them on our site for people to have access to. Now, before you apply, you need to check and verify the information we also have on our website, on the official scholarship website. You have to verify the scholarship information, the deadline, the criteria. For us, we do our due diligence, we do our thorough check, do our thorough research before we write and post them on our website. However, if you go to other sites that I cannot say, oh, just they do the same thing, how do you know that the information is correct? You have to also do your own check and due diligence as well for you to also be able to show that whatever they are sharing with you, they are the right information and you can use them to apply for scholarships. And yeah, so that brings us to verifying scholarship links before you submit them. I'll also do an example as well on how to do those search. So right now, I will just head over to ScholarWaka website where we're going to do a walkthrough, and I'll take us through one, how you can check out for scholarship requirement. Two, how you can also search for different type of scholarships. If you have a particular scholarship in mind, you can search them on the website. If not, you can just check to see, okay, what's currently available I can apply for, and then you know what to do and how to do it.
Hi,
Okay.
Lucy.
Yeah.
So before we proceed to the hands-on bit, we have two guys who have questions.
Okay.
So
Hi,
Faith,
Winifred. I just saw Winifred's name now.
hi,
Long
Faith.
time.
Oh, okay.
Winifred is WAAW Foundation scholar. What's this guy's name? O O OOU University. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you, Fred. Oh, it's been years.
yes. I'm so glad to see your face again.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, any question here?
Okay, so Faith, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Hi, good day. I hope you're doing great. So my question is, and I think you kind of partially answered it, but it's like I studied computer engineering in school, right, as a STEM course, but my career has been mostly in communications, and that's what I want to do, like a master's in. So I was wondering if that's like a red flag for most of the applications, and if it's something I should be concerned about.
That's a good question, and I don't think there's a problem with also transitioning or changing your career path. Some scholarships allow that. Some or most countries, I think, is it Australia? There's some countries that do not really encourage you to, want to switch career field. If your bachelor's was in this program or in this field, they want you to continue in that field. Why for some countries they don't mind. The main important thing is you had your previous studies in computer science, which is for your BSc, but after school, your experience has been around that field of communications, which is justifiable for you to be able to apply for the scholarship. So it's just for you to be able to align that relationship in your application or in your essays. So there's really no problem, except the scholarship have a concern about that. Yeah. So it's okay to
Sorry,
switch.
sorry. Do they usually state that in their write-up that, or is it something that should be? How do you exactly know if they have like a team against like switching career paths?
So for many of them, they will not state. They will not state really. I know that there are some. That's a very good question. Many of them do not state exactly if you cannot switch or if you can switch. But personally, from experience, the main thing is if you're switching to a new career path, you should already have justification. I'll give you an example. I have a friend that had experience in a BSc or master's or something around public relations (PR). And then for work, she had interest. She has worked in Nigeria brewery for a couple of years, and she was there as a salesperson. So she's already working in the dr- um drink industry, right? So hers was not applying for scholarship, but just like giving you a scenario. Now she wants to come to the UK, and she wants to switch from PR background, sales background, and now wants to move to study nursing. Because where's the relationship between nursing and sales manager and PR? Now, yeah, where was what we did for her to get admission or apply for that program. So this is a little bit tricky if you're applying for scholarship, but I'll give you like an example. So what we did was, when applying for the admissions to the school, why is she now choosing nursing now? So we could align it to that. She has always have interest in studying or working in the health field. And when she was working as a salesperson, she was doing lots of volunteering, health related awareness program. She was working with their health whatever team to implement different projects on drink safely, don't drink and drive. So there was a correlation between her experience as a sales manager, where she also even meet lots of customers when she goes for her business, and now aligning it to why she would now want to go into the health related field. So that is just how it works. If you're applying for scholarship and you're going for a career change, whatever you have been doing, how do you align it to what you're applying for? I know someone that's also currently applying for nursing program, and her previous degree was something around hospitality and tourism, and she has worked in the health, in working with in the hotels, like in hospitality. So she can talk about how she works in the food and beverages section, how she has experienced different is it client they call them, those their guests that have different medical issues or medical concerns, and how she has worked with nurses to attend to their special needs or their different health needs. So it's just the connection. How do you connect your previous experience to your current experience? I would say your experience is very key when applying for scholarship. If you do not have work, if you have left school for a couple of time and you've had some work experience, it's good to align it. But if you have not done lots of work after school and you want to go into scholarship, then you're going to use your academic background to use as your reference when applying for your scholarship. So it's just using just the logical way of, okay, how do I align it to whatever I'm applying for?
Okay, so he said after school. So does that mean that they count like experience from like the moment you finish school, or they count experience from while you're still in school? So for people who had jobs like while they were in school, do they count that as experience, or
That's
it's
that's a good question. For the likes of, like I said, if a scholarship wants a particular requirement and they are concerned about it, they will state it very clear in their requirement. For instance, for Chevni, they said your 2 years will be after graduation. So whatever you have done while you are in school, as working as an intern or part-time job, they don't count that as work experience, because this is a key thing for them. They have mentioned that in their scholarship requirements when applying for Chevni scholarship. So if you were in school and you have been working, and let's say you were in school for 5 years and you work for 5 years, that is zero experience to Chevni. To other scholarships, that's great. It means that you have been the same time building your professional experience and academic experience. So it depends on the scholarship and what they want. So if a scholarship did not state that you must have work experience, it means that that is not a key thing they're looking for, because a scholarship have their major thing they're looking for, either professional experience, academic experience, what's it called, or volunteering or leadership. You will see that in their criteria or eligibility when applying. So if it is not a key thing for them, you will not see it, but you can shout it in your essays or in your applications.
okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, Lillian. So you have the floor.
So, my question is, good afternoon, I'm sorry.
Hi.
My question is, you can directly move from undergraduate studies to your PhD, correct?
Yeah.
No, but then some requirements call for masters to show forth your master's degree or whatever.
Mhm,
So how do
mhm.
we navigate through those stuff? And another question would be, I studied chemical engineering, right? And I would like to delve into more of the oil and gas sector, but I want to study like a specialized course on it. So are there openings for that? So far, so good. All my research, I have not seen, except for the PTDF, like the core one that,
Mm.
yes, PTDF. I think they do that, petroleum. You just have to study a specialized course on that, and they can always give you scholarships for that one. But aside from that, I don't know. Is there kind of a deep sick thing I have to look out for to get these specialized advancements?
Okay. Yeah, so I'll start with the second question. So we had a ScholarWaka, we had a webinar last week, like scholarship workshop like this, where people joined. And one of the speakers said that I just want to quote the speakers. So she said, you can't be looking for free funding and you have an option. Just like you are a beggar and you have a choice. But anyway, so why am I saying this? If you are too specific to what you are looking for, you may not find it. And even if you find it, it might be very few. So that is where have an alternative come in, right? So that's the first thing I'll tell you. You may not find what strongly aligns to what you're looking for. So even if you really want to go into oil and gas, you may not find it. So because you're not finding it, on top of my head, I only know, yeah, PDDF, and there's one in UK called Scottish scholarship, Scottish Energy Scholarship, right? They're also into the energy sector. So imagine in a year, there's only two that aligns to what you're looking for. So why just those two? Now, second question is, why not consider scholarships that will enable you study, let's say, renewable energy? It is still um it's still engineering and specific based. And another thing for you to also note is that, yeah, many of us here are from Africa, right? So I'm from Nigeria, so I'll give Nigeria as an example. The way work life is abroad is not what it is back home. Yeah, it's about what can you offer, and it's not about your degree. If you like have a PhD, if you go for a job interview, what they want to see is how are you qualified for this role? I got my first engineering role immediately after studies, but I have never worked as an engineer. What did I do differently? I have worked with WAAW Foundation for over 4 years, and I have done lots of projects around STEM programs. I've worked with girls, done a lot of STEM programs. So it shows I have strong interest in STEM and engineering. And I remember I talked about earlier that that's not I came to the UK. I knew I wanted to work in the energy industry. I used my first full year of study volunteering with an energy organization. That also helped me to build work experience, at least in the UK base. And then I did my MSc. I had good projects that I could also talk about energy or engineering related, and that was how I got my first job. I didn't want to limit myself to say, oh, I want to work in the energy industry. I have never worked in NAPC in Nigeria, so I cannot apply for engineering role. No. So I had to figure out how do I find my pathway into those sector. So what I would say is it's good for you to be specific about what you want to study, but that will limit you. So also have an alternative. What alternative programs can I apply for that with what I'm currently doing, I can also do that. If you know that what you're currently doing is going to be a struggle for you to um, write very strong applications, just figure out a way to ensure that whatever you're doing today, whether through volunteering, internship, shall find a way to also just be in line with your proposed area of study. Because the main thing is that you just want to have very strong applications for your scholarship. I hope that that answers your question for the last one. Then the second question, the first question you asked was about BSc to masters. So this also comes back to understanding scholarship requirements. The scholarship will clearly state on their website that you can apply for a PhD with your BSc. It is clearly stated, meaning that no master's is needed. However, if you have a master's, it's a plus, but it is not a criteria for them. So let's say someone have a 2-2 BSc and have a master's, and then you have a 2-1 BSc or you have a first class BSc. Both of you are eligible for the scholarship. You that have only a BSc, if you have a strong application and who have a master's, they might choose you over the person. For some scholarships, they will tell you you must have a master's and have a you must have a BSc and a master's. Some will say have a BSc or a master's, or both of them. So it's usually very clear on their website if they're going to accept your BSc straight for master's. It's usually very clear from their website. So just ensure that you have understood the requirements and you follow that closely. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have 2 more questions before we move on to the hands-on. Hi, Chiamaka. You can unmute now. Chiamaka, are you there? If she's unable to speak, Mofi Folua, you can speak now. Mofi Folua.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening.
Hi, I saw you on Facebook yesterday, I mean today. Oh, yesterday. I know I see your post on Facebook. Yeah.
So I want to ask a question, and it's as regards getting funding, particularly a fully funded scholarship. So most times it always seems as if there's a bias as to you having a lot of research work. I study electrical engineering. So it usually has say for you to get funding, you have to have a lot of research work to be considered for certain opportunities that comes with that funding. So I'm trying to like strive a balance to know, because preparing ahead, I want to know, should I go and sit with research, even though my work doesn't really put me through that aspect or that route. So I'm trying to like understand better how to like navigate.
I would say it's a no and it's a yes. Research is it's not really compulsory, except the scholarship says it is. For instance, if you're applying for fully funded like Commonwealth, they have a space where they say drop your research experience. During my time, I didn't have anything in research, right? But I got it. There are people who have lots of research and they will have it there. So if you want to add research to your portfolio, it's a plus. It just makes you ahead of the next person or who do not have a research. But that is not also a criteria to say because you have done 20 publications, it means that you're professional in the research area. It doesn't also equals that you're going to get scholarship because you have research. So I would say it is mostly very important if you're applying for a PhD, but it's still not a big thing even for PhD. Because what they will look at for more is what do you have to offer? And remember that before they give you scholarship, most of them do not even do interview. It's just based on your application before they will even shortlist you. Like now for the likes of Chevney, they will shortlist you for Chevney interview based on your first application. They have not met you, they have not spoken to you, but they're already rejecting you for that you are not eligible. So they have judged you based on what you have written or submitted to them. So for me, it's just how well you present whatever you have. The key thing is your academic background, which is the course of your study, how good your grades are, first class, 2-1, 2-2 for those scholarships that were accepted to, and then your work experience as well, whether professional work experience, volunteering, leadership, how it also tells, depending if the scholarship requires that. So research is just a plus. Yeah, is a plus based on experience. People that I know that have gotten scholarship. I have a friend that just got PhD and she does not have research like express experience, or if she has done lots of publications, no. But she got PhD scholarship recently. So it's just more about how well you present what you have. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Chiamaka, You can ask your question now. I see that you're back here.
Good afternoon or good evening.
Hi, Shamaka.
Hi. I wanted to ask you one of the questions that the lady before me asked, which was the research base. I studied agriculture. I'm in the marketing space, marketing and communication space, and I studied ag extension specifically, which is almost like also the communication part for agriculture. And I want to apply the master's to study agricultural marketing and communication or agribusiness and communication. First of all, is that I don't know, I've been trying to find programs that offer marketing and communication, and it's almost like I can't find it. Most often, I'm always seeing it at agribusiness and communication, hence why I'm, saying
Mm,
either or. Yeah. But my question is, in terms of my route, most often I'm always seeing the research thing about you having research works being published. Like a couple of my friends and classmates that have gone there is all based on research, and most of them like Poland, no, Hungary rather. Hungary is like the agri-based part of it. And also, I've been reading up, doing some research. I've been finding out about volunteering for organizations, agro-related organizations. So I want to know, like, even if I'm volunteering in agro organizations, or interning, do I specifically have to be in the marketing or communication department specifically for it to tally? Because I already have the work experience
mm,
of marketing and communication already. And my course already sort of backs me up in that aspect of what I read. So I'm saying I don't really have research works. I have a research work published, but it's not in communication, it's on niche, basically in agriculture. So
mm.
do I specifically need to have an experience in the communication or marketing aspect of my internship with an agro firm or something of that nature? Do I necessarily need to intern for me to, because I heard you talking about volunteering experiences and I don't think I really have actually. So yeah, I don't
Mm.
know.
Okay, that's a very good question. To be honest, you can't. I want to say you can't take all the bosses, right? But you have to do your best to do as much as you can, right? So if you have a academic background in agriculture and now you're working in communications and now you're looking for where to do internship, I think internship can be either of them. It must not necessarily be in agriculture or communications. So as far as you have experience in academics and then professional, internship can be however. Like for instance, take WAAW Foundation for instance. Assuming we are volunteering with WAAW Foundation, we are more
Okay.
of STEM based and we are not mostly only agriculture. We are more like okay, science related subjects, mentoring young girls,
Yeah.
supporting young girls.
Mm.
So where is agriculture in that? Okay, agriculture comes in because it is STEM, right? But during your classes, do you really do agricultural related programs? It's almost like a no, right? So
Yeah.
the experience is you are giving back, and how are you giving back is how we tell the story. So it must not be it is in the field of what you want to study. Someone that I was reading the application the other day, is applying for a health related program, and it was talking about tell us a time where she's applying for wanting something health related anyways, not nursing but health related, and she want to talk about experience in volunteering. Guess what her example was? She was like, "Oh, she is a Rattel member, the VDM Rattel group, and that she this is a national base group in Nigeria where we have monthly outreach to communities, and either they are doing school cleanup, supporting with cleaning the environment. How does that align to health?" But she has shown that she's actively involved in her community. She can also extend this to say, okay, even when we go for our outreaches, we also talk to children about how they can live healthy or how they can personal hygiene, keep your environment clean, which is also aligned to health. If she wants to, tilt it into why she's going into health related programs. So the idea is get involved. What they want to see is the impact, right? And yeah, and just figure out a way to link them together. But I don't think it must be in that field, like it must be agric related. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
thank
just
you
to
very much.
find a common balance because
Thank
you may
you.
not be able to get it really 100% sometimes when you are trying to figure it out. Okay. Any other question?
So we have one question in the chat room. Do we want to take it now or after the hands-on?
Okay, let me have a look.
Have you seen it?
Okay.
How do we navigate scholarships? That's the very last question.
How do I go scholarship at how to? Okay, yeah, that's a very good question. How do I get scholarship? Which are tied to applying to school fails, getting admission, and then applying for scholarship? My dear, that is just their requirements, and you have to follow it that way. I have a couple of mentees that are currently applying for this kind of scholarship. They needed to apply for admissions first, and then once you get the offer, that's when they expect you to apply for the scholarship. It's just the process, and that's just what you need to do. If you apply for admissions, start getting the offer, they will possibly even ask you for your admission number or a proof of your offer before you can even submit your application for the scholarship. So it's just the process. And the ones that ask for application, how do you know they are legit? So you would know a scholarship is legit if you check the scholarship through the scholarship official website. Like I said earlier, ScholarWaka is like a third party scholarship platform. You get the scholarship information from different type of scholarship across the world, but it is also possible for you to also go to their website to double check if the information we have on our website they are correct. If the website says pay application fee of £100, that's what it is. You have to pay for it. If you find it on their application website and you are paying for the application fee also from their website, so it shows it is legit. You will see it on their application. Sure, you will see it on their website, not just on a third party website, and you feel, oh, that is the correct way. If you are making payment outside a third party website, then just be careful. Although when applying or making payment, schools can reroute your payment to another payment platform that will manage your application. Let people know what that is. But just know that before you make any payment, it should be from the official scholarship or school website. You will hardly see scholarships that ask you for application fee. Mostly it is the schools that will ask for application fee if that is their process. Okay, so I'll take the last one before we continue. Please, can I get scholarship to study public health? Is that 4.32 overall 5.00? If it's a yes, that's a very strong one. That's a very strong 2-1. So absolutely, that's a very strong one to apply for any scholarship. As I said, scholarship says a first class. As far as it's a 2-1, yeah, that's a very strong 2-1. You can use that to apply for many scholarship, except the request for. There's even one I will show you right away. I saw that one this morning. I was like, hey, this scholarship is a good one. But anyway, let me share my screen right now. Let's get into it. So because someone has asked for public health, I will just let me go to our homepage. I will just go to, what do you guys think? Our site is beautiful, right? I just love the color. It's giving. ScholarWaka is giving. So because someone asked for public health, I will just look for one that I saw yesterday. So you can see our website. The last post that was made was 23 hours ago. And you can see lots of scholarships here. This was posted 1 day ago. So I will open this because someone asked about health related programs. I will just look. So let's use this Aston University Ferguson Scholarship as an example. Now, I talked about when you want to apply for a scholarship. So now we're going through this part of the question, understanding scholarship requirement, what to look at for, and secondly, how to find scholarships or how to verify information or all the how to's here. That's what we're looking for now. So this is a scholarship that we just opened now on the ScholarWaka website, and is the Aston University Ferguson Scholarship, fully funded in the UK. Now you can see that we do provide a summary of what scholarship is all about. It's a duty for you to read what we have here and also go to the scholarship official website to double read, double check, ensure that you understand everything they require from you. So here you can see that they said 2026 scholarship, international students are encouraged to apply for this opportunity. They want to study in the UK. Yeah. And then they said you wish to pursue a master's program. So you show that this is just a master's scholarship. It is not BSc, it is not PhD, just master's program. And it's specifically designed for students from African countries and India. So this is another requirement you need to understand. First, it is masters. Second, it is specific countries, right? African countries and India. Who wants to apply to study in the UK? Yes, church. Yes, we'll soon go to church. I'm coming, okay? Then the next one is the scholarship provide strong financial support, which includes covering your full tuition fee that is worth this, and they give you stipend up to £6,000. So that's the stipend they are giving to you, and it helps talented students who may not otherwise have the opportunity to study in the UK. So you can tell that they are giving you scholarship because it's almost like a need-based scholarship. You can't afford to study in the UK. That's what they're giving you scholarship. So it's already a need-based scholarship, right? So that's another thing to consider. Now, students in studying and receiving this support should take advantage of this opportunity to apply before the deadlines. Okay, so if we go down the page, you see the brief info about the scholarship. We also have a deadline is 29th of May for those who are looking for scholarships to apply for. And let's go down as well. So here you can see scholarship details. So here is a summary of what we have put together. Like I said, always also go back to the scholarship page as well to double confirm this information and read more details if they have more information there. So yeah, they have said this improve educational opportunity to talented students who would not otherwise be able to study in UK. So it's a need-based scholarship, financial need-based scholarship. You start your study this year, September. They are only giving 3 scholarship this year, which is small, but that 3, you can be among those 3 persons. And here are the list of the courses you can apply for. These are the only programs, and you can see it's mostly health related, right? So these are the programs. So when they ask about public health, there's no public health here, but at least it's health related, so you can figure out where to tag yourself. So like now, this is an example of those who probably have BSc in nursing, have any health related, science, bio related programs, and you're looking for a particular course. Like I can see here now, there's nothing like nursing here, but you can still want to consider maybe an MSc in addiction and mental health and align it to your profession in nursing. So that is where having an alternative for a course to apply for comes in. And then if you are not sure what the course is, okay, what is it about drug discovery? If you're not sure what it is, just go to the school website and check what is this course about? What is the course requirement? Can I apply for this particular course? How does it align to my program? right? So this is not linked directly. So just for you to copy the link from here, go to Google and find their. So if I say Astin University and I paste MSc, this is the MSc here. So this is the MSc in drug discovery. Just in case you're not sure what the course is about, this is the entry requirement. You must have a 2-2 to apply, starting in September 2026. And then you go through the course overview. Okay, what is it about? Okay, let me just go through to see if I can align my field in nursing or whatever to this program. So that's also another way for you to check for the programs that you want to select, how you can align them to your field of study. So that's another way to check for programs. Now let's still go down to see what is eligibility requirement. They said you must hold a conditional or unconditional offer for one of the eligible program listed above. So this simply means that for this particular university, you need to apply for admission first and hold a offer. Now, someone will ask me, what's the difference between conditional and unconditional? So conditional means that when you apply for an admission and they come back to say there's a condition, it means that there's an outstanding that you need to fulfill. Maybe you need to submit to them maybe a recommendation letter if you are missing one, or some might say you need to provide IELTS, English proficiency test. Some might say majorly, the major conditional offer you get is pay your tuition fee deposit. If it is any other condition other than pay tuition fee deposit, you need to fulfill that condition or not fulfill it. But since they said conditional or unconditional, once you have that offer, that is either of this offer, then you can then progress to apply for the scholarship. This is also aligned to the question the person asks about how do you approach it. So it will always be in the scholarship requirement or in their step on how to apply. Then, like I said earlier, you must be from Africa or India. You must hold a 2-1 or so. Now you can see scholarship says you must hold a 2-1 or equivalent. Now applying for the degree says you can hold a 2-2. You see, now the scholarship have its own requirements. The course have its own requirement. Now, if you apply for this program and you have a 2-2, you will gain admission. But then you may not get the scholarship because scholarship wants you to have a 2-1. So it's a two-way you checking school requirements and course requirement because they both must align. Someone that have a 2-2 apply for this and you get admission, but scholarship, it's almost a no because they want 2-1 degree and relevant to your choosing field. So you must be self-funded student, and candidates referred through agencies are not eligible. So there's no reference or what's the recommendation or nomination from any agency. So applicants who have selected must provide evidence showing they can contribute to this. So the other requirement is that because the scholarship only covers your full tuition fee and give you stipend, they want to see that you can show proof of your other expenses, which is amount of money that you also need to demonstrate for you to show as proof of funds when applying for scholarship. They also need to provide that as well. I'm not sure if this will happen during the application, but something you could check out or you will see when you are applying or when as we progress. So here's information about our mentorship class. We also offer mentorship as well here. So here they give your tuition fee is covered. And yeah. Now documents to apply for the scholarship. Application for an eligible program. So you must apply for the programs that is listed up there. Give me a second. Let me get my charger, please. Oh yeah. Go ahead, pressing up. Okay, go just up. Okay, let me charge my laptop before it goes off. Okay, yeah, now you can see that before you can apply for the scholarship, they have mentioned what you require. One, you must have applied for admission to the programs, eligible programs. They said you must have your 9-digit application number beginning with 25. So if you do not apply for admissions, there's no way you're going to get the application number, and it's not possible for you to submit your application, right? And also other documents. And down here is step by step on how you can apply. Everything is here. So now you can see that from a particular application, they did not say anything about leadership, volunteering, but they were more like a need base, because they were talking more about someone who cannot afford to study in the UK. That does not mean that you will not talk about leadership or volunteering if need be, right? So just take note of that as well. Now, if you find a scholarship through any third party website, ensure that you find your way to the official scholarship website. Just find your way to the official scholarship website. Do not make any payment for any scholarship through any third party website, right? And also a big disclaimer: nobody can guarantee you a scholarship, not even me myself. I'm a scholarship mentor, but I can never guarantee you that if I apply for you, you will get it. It is even one foundation that nominates you for scholarship cannot tell you that because we nominated you for a scholarship, you're going to get it. No, it is usually based on the organizations that award the scholarship. They review your applications. They will tell if you are, worthy to get the scholarship. So do not make any payment through any third party platform. And most times, not most times, and you cannot apply for a scholarship through any third party platform. It is not possible. So once you click on this, that will take you to the scholarship official website, which is this. And every information that you have read from here, or you have read from the ScholarWaka website, is what you're also going to see here. This is a list of all the courses they talked about earlier. Everything they talked about, you need to have it 2-1. Everything we have seen, all these step by step, they're all here. And also take note as well of the deadlines so that you apply on time before the application deadline. So all the information are here. And from here as well, since they said you need to apply for the admissions, it means that you need to apply for the program. So assuming you are choosing this course we have here, you're going to apply for the application first, the admission first. Then once you are done, most schools, because they didn't say that here, let me see. Following the above scholarship web form. Okay, they have a form here. So where is the form? Apply now. I can't see the form here. Okay, yeah, this is the application form. Yeah, it's down here. Okay, I just saw it now. So you're quite very straightforward. To have your admissions, and then these are their essays. Tell us about your interests and hobbies. Describe how scholarship enables you to access this, which you have not been. So you can see that they're talking about need based because you're not be able to afford it. How scholarship is going to support you. And we'll talk about how to approach scholarship questions as well next week. So I don't want to go deep into what would be the best approach if I want to talk about this. How do I approach this question? I won't go into that today because of time. But yeah, this is just how you apply. As you can see from here, we have come to the official scholarship website, and I can submit my application. Now, I don't know if this university have application fees, because most universities, I don't think so. This school, I don't think they have application fees, but some schools will tell you pay application fee before you submit your application for admission, while some schools will also not request, right? So you'll be lucky if you apply to schools without application. But that's like the general or the way you can apply. Down here, we have a scholarship toolkit on our website. So you can come here and download this for free. Just put in your email and your name. You're going to get our free scholarship toolkit, and also explore our website as well. So this is just an example of how you look at for scholarship. We can do one more. So we can do one more example before we round up for today. So on our website as well, we have different means on how you can search for scholarship. You have scholarship interest in UK, in Asia, in Europe, in Canada, wherever. We have different type of scholarships. You can also check scholarship by levels. If you're looking for master's scholarship, just come to scholarship by level and click on masters, and everything we have about masters is going to pop up for you. Another very important thing we have on our site is scholarship guide. This is where we write information that supports you, how to, all the how to's to help you prepare, to read, to give you the ginger as you're applying for scholarships. We have all the supporting documents here. So do also come here as well and read through all of that. So let's assume that we want to apply for another master's. So let me click on master's scholarship, and let's see what else we can look at. I don't have anyone in mind, so let's look at this Calvary scholarship, how to apply. So this is a master's scholarship, fully funded, non-European. It's a 2-year scholarship in Italy. Oh, they have 132 scholarship that we awarded this year. That's plenty compared to the one we saw that said just 3. So they're giving a whole lot of scholarship. Selection is based only on qualification. So theirs are based on what qualification? Maybe I don't know what they mean by qualification, but we'll see as we go further. It might be academic qualification, it might be professional qualification. I'm not sure what it is. So let's go for that to see. It covers full tuition, accommodation, meals, and they give you stipend. And deadline is end of this month. And then the 2 years masters for non-Europe students residing abroad. Qualification only. We've seen that already. Admission assessment includes evaluation of your CV and academic qualification. So you see that they are very critical about your CV. So CV needs to look really good, which I'm going to talk about next week as well. They have an examination. They have assessments in English or Italian language. And then they have different type of merit places they're giving. Okay. Then eligibility as well. You must obtain your degree obtained abroad. You must have a valid admission of masters in Italy. So they also need to have a master's admission as well. Degree must be valid for admission to study. No, degree must be valid for admission to master's program in Italy. Okay. Must apply for one of their degree programs. So you need to apply for the degree program as well. Meet the admission requirement for your program. See, they mentioned here you need to pay application fee. So this one is also said that yeah, you need to pay application fee of 10 euros for this particular scholarship, which you're also going to find as well in their process. So must meet the income threshold in the state. So this one also is they need to know if you meet the threshold for the scholarship. So this might need them to ask for proof of maybe proof of income from your family or household income. They might need to show that because it's part of their requirement. So just take note of that as well. And then down here, documents you need to apply for the scholarship. Everything is here. Oh, they need to provide. So it's not a requirement. You also need to legalize your documents. Officially translated and legalized document, declaration of value of NARI certificate, clarification of. So this scholarship now, they have plenty documents you need to provide. So you have to check, okay, do I have strength to provide all these documents? If I don't have the strength, there's no need for you to start the journey. Just bypass if you think that you do not have any of these, or if you don't want to stress yourself to provide them. So that's how you basically do all your check. But then before you begin your application, this will take you to their official websites where you can now begin your application. But before you begin your application, still go through the scholarship official page to read all their information as well, understand everything they require from you before you submit them, right? So this is how you search or find scholarships, or you check the requirements. So once you know what they are looking for, it just helps you to be able to submit the application really well and on time. There's another one, development solution scholarship. The particular reason I want to talk about this development solution scholarship. Oops, I need to wrap up. Development solution scholarship. This is another one in UK, right? So this scholarship has been open for a long time. They give half or full tuition. But the reason why I came here is I want to show you guys their requirements. So they said this scholarship is designed to support international students from developing countries. The scholarship aims to empower students passionate about bringing positive change to their home country by providing financial support. Now, you have seen what is their reason for wanting to fund you, meaning that during your applications, they will want to ask you, how are you going to bring change to your home or to your country? So expect something like that in your application. So this is not just based on if you are in need base, they need some people who are already doing something back home or who plans to do something back home. So yeah, saying it again, those who are committed to making a difference in development in their home country. So it's good to always take note of, what they are looking for or why they're giving you the scholarship. So when you want to write your own application, they will also, want you to write about that. This particular scholarship as well, you also need to apply for admission first. These are all the eligible countries. You also need to apply for admissions first. Once you get an offer, then you apply for the scholarship, because you need to show proof of admissions and then every other document. But you can also read more about the scholarship as well through their official website. So this is how you basically look for scholarship. There's nothing other than this way, continuous checking, because until you check, you would not know. And this particular scholarship that we're seeing now, they don't have a particular course. So any program you see at this university, you can apply for it. Even this one we saw at Italy as well, they don't have a particular program. So any program offered by the university, that's what you can apply for. So it's quite very easy. So whether you are in nursing, okay, yeah, they mentioned it here, faculty of engineering, medicine, health, see all their different eligible programs. So if you click on this link and you find the program that looks like what you're looking for, then you apply for admissions in line with those programs. So that's how you can find what you're looking for. For the person that have a specific course or study choice in the field of engineering, or you want to practice in engineering, you may come here and want to check, okay, what kind of program can I find in this university that looks like specialized program in the field of oil and gas? If they don't have, what else can I go for that is closely related to oil and gas? So in that way, you are not just limiting yourself to just one particular course, but rather you are checking to see what other program you can apply for. Okay, I think this is almost the end of my slide. Other than we want to talk about what scholarship providers look for. So having gone through how to search for scholarship requirements, how to find the requirements on different application websites, it is very good for you to master these strategies of what they look at for, so that when you are applying, you give them what they want. First thing is academic excellence. Show them how good how good you were in school. If you're very good at school, oh, I was the best 10% in my class. you have good academic grades, which if you have research that you have written before or publications, you can talk about that as well. So academic excellence is very common across any or all scholarships. It's also good for you to also show why you have chosen the program you're applying for and how it connects to your long-term career goals. They want to know that you know what you want and you are not confused. Especially for those have who have had career switch, careers change, or change of course, it's good for you to really, really clarify how they connect. And then leadership and impact is also very key. Almost 90% of scholarship, we want to see this in your application. So it's good for you to show them evidence of how you take initiative to create change in your community, or how you how you contribute to impact in your community. And also very, very importantly, every scholarship have their own mission. And the one we just saw now, which is the Development Solution Scholarship, they are more about those who wants to make change in their community. Now, when you want to apply for your scholarship, they want to see the kind of change you want to make in your community. Tell us about that change. Tell us about that thing that drives you. Yeah. So alignment to the scholarship mission as well is also very key. How do you know the scholarship alignment? They will surely talk about it in their essays. They'll tell you, okay, tell us, write about this, write about that. You usually see it in their essays, but it's good for you to also understand what they look at for or what their mission is, so you can properly align your application or your essays to what they're looking for. Okay, so next week we're going to dive deep into required documents for scholarships and how they should look like. It is very crucial for you to know what documents you need and how it should look like, because once you have the right document, you are 50% close to winning a scholarship. That's how I see it. Because once you know the requirements, what you need, and then you properly prepare your documents, then you are almost good to go. You do your best and leave the rest for God. Yeah, so next week we're going to dive more into scholarship document, but these are the overview of documents that you need to apply for scholarship. You need your passport or national ID, your academic transcript, certificate, recommendation letters, your CV, your personal statements, scholarship essays, which you will always see, proof of achievement, whether you had an award, or sometimes you may not need to upload them. You can talk about them in your application. So scholarship may need you to provide English proficiency test or a letter. And if you're applying for a PhD or a master's research program, you might need to provide, not you might, you need to provide a research proposal. And if there's any other documents required by the scholarship, they will let you know and you will need to provide them. For instance, maybe proof of income, proof of, oh, I am a needy student, proof of this, whatever they require from you, you will provide that. And you will know those additional documents when you are applying for the scholarship, or if you check through their required documents to apply for scholarship. Any further questions? Because I need to rush to church in the next couple of minutes. So any further questions before we call it a day? Do want to follow us across all our social media pages. ScholarWaka, we are everywhere on social media, and also my YouTube channel. So please just take some minutes to just head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Biko, just go and add your number to my number. Biko, no, right? So I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, Lucy. This has been like a robust clinic. That's what I wrote. This is like a clinic. Very rich. Thank you. I'm saying thank you very much. Guys, please let's appreciate our facilitator. Let's show the appreciation, please. And call to action, like she had said, please let's ensure that we
Yeah, I'll drop the YouTube link right away. I'll just drop it on the WhatsApp on the group.
Okay, thank you. And to you guys for joining and for staying true till now, well done to you guys. Thank you. I really hope that in the coming months, by the time you are sending applications and you are getting great feedback, you always make reference to this session. please know that this is the start of it. We have another one next week. As you've seen, next week looks like it's very much loaded. There's a lot to cover. So we'll do well to start early. Please do well to join. We would also share the recording of this video in the group so that for those who didn't join in time, you can catch up with what happened, or you can just go back to it should you need to make any reference to anything. So before we leave, I'm going to drop the feedback form now. Please do well to fill it as well. This is to help us for the subsequent session we'll be
helpful, so
doing.
we can know what else you're expecting as well.
Yeah. So please do well to fill it. And we'll also drop it in the alumni group, so just in case if you miss it. But please, we really, 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 really want you to please fill it. So let's release Lucy. I know that she needs to be somewhere. Thank you so much, Lucy. I appreciate you.
No problem.
And to everyone for joining, thank you guys. We can call it an evening from our own end here.
All right, thank you all so much. Ura, please also help me drop the link to the YouTube channel on the group as well. And yeah,
okay,
I'll catch you guys next week. Ura, please just share with me the feedback, info about the feedback.
Yeah, I'll give you access.
Yeah,
I'll share the access so that you see it real time as well.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, bye.